Please welcome to the stage, co-chair of the Bernie Sanders presidential campaign, Senator Nina Turner.
Henderson! Wow. Loving you too, darling. Amy did that, didn't she? Henderson, it's such a pleasure and an honor to be here this afternoon. And I just want to shout you out in the strongest possible way. There's a quote that comes to mind for me that Congresswoman Barbara Jordan once said. She said, "What the people want is simple. They want an America as good as its promise." And Henderson, that is what the life of Senator Bernie Sanders has been all about, helping to build an America that is as good as its promise. So can a sister go into her purse real quick? I'm feeling all kinds of way, Henderson. Before I get started, though, I got a chance to meet, and I know I see babies out here, and I want you to look around and see the babies and the younger people here. Now, we are fighting this fight for all generations, but to Georgia, who is 2 years old, and Ziggy, who is 8 months, this is what this political revolution is all about. For our mamas and our grandmamas and our granddaddies and our daddies, this is what this revolution is all about. And baby, for ourselves. Because isn't it something in this country that we have gone so far that the whole notion of everyday working people from all walks of life do not deserve to live a good life in the hearts and the minds of some who have rigged the system. But I am here to testify on this Saturday afternoon in Henderson that what the people want is simple. They want an America as good as its promise. So it's not too much to ask for clean water. It's not too much to ask for clean air. It's not too much to ask for clean food. It's not too much to ask that we understand that we are the stewards of Mother Earth and we have not been treating her well, and that it is our moral obligation to take care of Mother Earth. It's not too much to ask. So can I just, Senator Sanders has been on assignment for a very long time. And the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said that longevity has its place. Henderson, I know that a whole bunch of folks have come around to the idea of health care for all, but the visionary who stood up for this in good times and bad times, the visionary who stood up in 2016 and told the working class people from all walks of life in this country that you deserve better than what you have been getting, was Senator Bernie Sanders. And we got the receipts. See, a visionary is never understood in their time. Not only did he, and sisters and brothers, tell me if you remember this. I remember at one of the debates in 2016, and the moderator asked the question about what is the biggest threat to this country. And Senator Bernie Sanders said the biggest threat is climate change. Folks looked at him like he was, well, you know what I mean. But here we are, fast forward in 2019, and people are starting to get it. See, a visionary stands up even when it is not comfortable to stand up, and that is what we have in Senator Bernie Sanders. He's pushing for the people who need. And Henderson, you know, none of us begrudge anybody for being wealthy, but what we are sick and tired of is excessive greed and exploitation on our backs and on our necks. You deserve better. Senator said, I'm feeling this thing. I mean, he's been standing up. And not just what he did as a young man, not just that the fact that his lived experience, having a father who came to this country from Poland as a 17-year-old with no money while his family was killed in the Holocaust, having a mother who died at the young age of 46 years old. His lived experience informs him. And not just as a 19-year-old, to my millennials who are in the house at your stage, fighting against segregation in housing at the University of Chicago. He has a lived experience. Living in a rent-controlled housing and telling the story of how for his mother, she had dreamed of the day when they didn't have to live in such housing, but she never lived to see that day. I'm talking about a senator who's lived in his car before. I'm talking about somebody who understands from a deep-seated perspective what it means to be struggling in this country. I'm talking about his lived experience. And he didn't stop there. He has been on the picket line with Verizon workers, the picket line with Marriott workers, going into Canton, Mississippi, trying to help the Nissan workers there who are overwhelmingly African-American unionized because the senator understands that unions increase the wages and conditions of workers in this country. I'm talking about his lived experience. And not something that he just came to because the polling says that it polls well. I'm talking about somebody who, in the words of Dr. Cornel West, is a long-distance runner for justice. That's what we have in Senator Bernie Sanders, somebody who is willing to put it on the line. And sisters and brothers in Henderson, in order for him to be the next president of the United States of America, he needs you, 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 he needs all of us. Because this rainbow mosaic of humanity, and when I say rainbow, I'm talking about the colors that we collectively represent, that we rise or fall together, that if we have a criminal justice system that treats black men worse than anybody else, we fall together. That we have a criminal justice system that does not treat our Hispanic and Native American brothers and sisters right, we rise and fall together. That we have a system that would dare deny folks the opportunity to vote. We rise or fall together. That if we live in a country where women still have to beg for their whole damn dollar, we rise or fall together. That if we live in a country where our sisters and brothers at the southern border who are seeking a better life are not treated with the respect that they deserve as they seek to come to this country, we rise or fall together. And for our otherly abled sisters and brothers who are left out of this debate time and time again, we must have systems in place that treat them the way that we would want to be treated. We rise or fall together. We have that in Senator Sanders. So, sisters and brothers, President Nelson Mandela once said it always seems impossible until it is done. we're going to have a whole lot of folks telling us that it cannot be done. We ask them to move the hell out of the way and let us who willing to get it done, get it done. A good life, good jobs, standing up against Wall Street and the pharmaceutical industry. We have in Senator Bernie Sanders somebody who stared Jeff Bezos in the eyes and said, you will raise the minimum wage. Figuratively. Said to Disney, you will raise the minimum wage. If he can do that, as one of my colleagues said, if the senator can do that, being a senator, imagine what he can do as the next president of the United States of America. We rise or fall together. So, can you just do something for us, sister? With these hands, can everyone under the sound of my voice raise your hands? Raise something for somebody else, because you are standing in the gap for the type of country that we want to live in. The mosaic of humanity is in Henderson, and with these hands, we will have Medicare for all. With these hands, we will have college for all. With these hands, we will have a country that allows the greatest number of people the opportunity to live a good life. With these hands, we will unite and push the political revolution in ways that brings transcendence to this country. And with these hands, we will elect Senator Bernie Sanders as the next president of the United States of America. Senator Sanders stood up when he didn't have to stand up as a young man. The way to define the character of a person is what they do when the cameras are not on, what they do when they don't benefit from it personally. He is a champion for civil rights and social justice in this country. The time is right and the cause is now. Senator Sanders understands that we as a country, black, white, Asian, Native American, young, seasoned, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Gentile, atheist, all of us together. All of us together.
Revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall. Our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
What's going to be different this time?
We're going to win.